Hello, and welcome to the Chicago Humanities Festival. My name is Natalie Cohen, and I'm the senior programmer. It's my pleasure to welcome you to today's program with Colin Quinn and David Spade. You can learn more about upcoming events at chicagohumanities.org and help support us by donating or becoming a member. Thanks to our captioner for making this event more accessible, all digital events have been closed captioned, which can be controlled through YouTube. Be sure to check out Colin Quinn's latest book, which is the topic of today's conversation, Overstated, a coast-to-coast roast of the 50 states. And now, please welcome David Spade with Colin Quinn.
Colin Quinn, an old buddy of mine. This is David Spade, and I'll be running the show today. Obviously, one of us has a ring light. Colin,
I have one too.
Oh, you do? Turn it on. It's time. Colin.
Woo!
Hey, look at this guy. Colin was always known as the cute comic. All the girls I know like him and have a crush on him, which drives me crazy. I know we're here to talk about the book, and we're going to get that in a second. I mean, I don't really want to, but it's probably inevitable. But I'm going to ask you a few questions first. First of all, look, Heather wrote that.
Nice.
Isn't that great? I'll block
Yeah,
it.
you can almost see what the word means.
I know, that's her fault. She wrote so horrible. Overstated, that is the book. And I have the book right here. This is it, Colin. You sent it to me. And it feels like this was Photoshop. When did you shoot this?
No, we shot that in the Potomac itself.
And the funniest part is you asked me, literally the dumbest one you know, to look at a book and talk to you about a book. I'm not like super dumb, but I don't read a lot. But this is the kind of book where I open it because I'm such a fan of yours, and I open it, and then in the first second I go, oh, it's funny, and I get jealous and I slam it shut.
Whoa.
So, but I did go through it, and a lot of things. First, I want to tell everyone we work together on Saturday Night Live. This is true, right?
Right.
And the funny thing about Colin on SNL is I would ask your opinion after read through about sketches, because everyone sort of looked up to you and comedically, and some people would pull you aside and say, what do you think of this? And you were always nice about my bits. And then one time, so I thought you were just kind of saying that, like that's what you said to everyone. And then one time I go, hey, what'd you think of this one? You go, you can't do it. And I go, what do you mean? You go, it's hacky. You can't. It's so bad. It's not up to your level. And I was like, but it made me realize that you were listening. Your compliments were genuine. And when you needed to put the brakes on me, you were honest. And so I like that. And I didn't like it at the time, but I liked it later because that's the kind of harsh criticism I needed. You're always nice about it. And do you remember when Farley wrestled Jay Moore?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there for that? That was ridiculous. How many years were you on total? We're going to keep moving, right?
No, I was there writing when you were there. Those guys had left.
Oh, okay.
Came on, so it was a different group, you know.
Oh, is that when I was just stayed by myself for a year?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Because that bit was one of my weekly bits I was doing that I asked you about. It was about
right.
You remember that? You
First
wrote.
of all, before you ask any questions, I'm gonna guess you read out of the whole book, 50 states. I'll say you read Arizona and half of California.
I wanted to get to California, but with my schedule, you don't know, with this pandemic, people are coming at me from a million sides. So I
Oh, you're the worst.
I had to alphabetize my colognes. There's so much going on yesterday. But no, I went through them, and half the funniness is the names of the chapters, and then the amount of work you put in, which might not be work to you, because sometimes when people are really good, like I saw Sean Penn shoot a movie one day, and he was talking at lunch and smoking, and then he went into this heavy scene. He goes, hang on a second. Heavy scene. And I think it's the kind of thing where he's just smooth at it and good, and so it doesn't seem like that hard, but it's harder for other people. So I'm looking at the density of jokes on each page, and I'm like, God damn, you've already talked about all of our favorite subjects, the Constitution. I used to joke to you, I'd say, how do you find the most boring thing you can find and then go,
Yeah.
There's funny there? And that's a hard worker, because you're not taking the easy jokes that are like, let's say Trump jokes or something that people are doing a lot of. you're going past that and going deeper, deeper, something that wasn't made fun of, and you find something. I'm gonna let you talk in the last 10 seconds. Also, we can talk about it. So you, first of all, you've done books, you've done plays, and why the States this time?
Well, because obviously this thing, this thing called America is probably on its last legs. And so I figured I would just try to do a review because I can't believe that this country is in this shape and yet nobody wants to have like a meditation, there's no conclave, like an emergency conference like the Constitutional Convention was with people discussing what to do. So I said, well, at least I'll review it anyway.
Yeah, I think it must be more frustrating for you because I'm an average guy that sort of skims along politics, and it frustrates me. But with you, where you have so much more knowledge about it, it must drive you even extra bananas.
It's crazy. It's more like I feel like it's a problem of human nature and our, you know what I mean? It's not just our system, it's everybody. It's not just the politicians or the corporations, it's the average person too. We're all in this, you know what I mean? Everybody's guilty in some way.
It has split people where even, 8 years ago, 12 years ago, I would be like, oh, wait, is that a presidential election this week? And everyone's like, oh, right. Yeah, get out and vote. You got to pick a guy. And it wasn't so rough. And even when Dana Carvey was doing Bush on SNL, he was goofy about it. And it was just sort of funny.
Right.
And it got meaner and rougher along the way until this election is just so, it's actually scary because I don't know which side wins and the other side is not going to like it. I know that. So
yeah.
What's going to happen is terrifying. I have no idea really. And I'm sure you do. You probably have some secrets.
No, I don't know.
You don't know.
Nobody knows. But all I do know is that here we are talking about this crazy thing. And yet there's no place for people to go where there's like a group of thinkers that you go to and they go, here's what we need to do. That doesn't exist. Which is
right.
strange.
It feels like just people like us. You're like the high ups get together and say, obviously every single person in the country is talking about this. There's some huge problem.
Right.
How can we calm it, fix it, anything? And they're so far apart that you go, wait, this is like such a weird battle where no one's winning.
And part of the problem is obviously the leaders, and the other part of the problem is the people, because people would not allow leaders right now to have an honest, brutally honest conversation. You can only speak in platitudes. And so the people are used to that, the media is used to that, and we're all used to only speaking these vague terms. So you can't even get to the bottom of anything.
Yeah, Heather, Google platitudes. Also,
well, let's call them bromides.
So it is crazy that how each person is so involved now of what's going on. I don't and the fear of coming up to an election and our state's on fire along with everything else. It's hard.
Your state. You're from Arizona.
Well, if you want to get tricky, I'm from Michigan, but
Ooh.
I don't remember much from Michigan because I was only 4 when I said, let's beat it. I've heard Arizona's got some, I've heard good things. So when I was 4, we moved. But speaking of Michigan, what is Michigan's hook? What's their name in the title?
I don't remember. Hold on. What do you think?
I got it too.
Oh, good. I'm not up to Michigan. How about Ohio?
Will you take Ohio? Oh, I'm on Ohio right now. Okay, what do you think of Michigan? Do you remember what it is? Do you have any thoughts? Because I'm from there.
Jesus, you're not from there. I was all prepared for,
Let's skip to Arizona. You know I'm from Arizona, right?
I was just trying to say that you're from Arizona. But I mean, yeah, I can't remember. I mean, I probably should have prepared a little more.
Don't worry about it.
I could have.
We'll go to Arizona because it's the IG model state.
Arizona, take off your shades.
You can't say Indian braids anymore.
No, take off your rainbow shades, they said.
And then the next line is to take off your Indian.
Who wrote that song?
Mark somebody?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's on my iPod.
but they say Arizona, yeah, I call it the Instagram model because beautiful but empty, you know. I mean, it really is. I have to say, when I was in Arizona, a few times I've been out there,
Yeah.
the people are beautiful. Not just the girls, the guys are beautiful too.
Yes.
Everyone just looks nice out there, you know what I mean? But it's got a dirty, bloody history, as you might know.
I don't know. I know that there's a copper mine I used to live next to.
Really?
Yeah, pennies are big there.
I guarantee there was a lot of bloodshed in that copper mine, you know, because anytime you had something, even copper, you know, most people would go for gold or silver. So I'm sure Arizona, the people are like, all right, we'll settle for copper. You
Why
know?
is no one focusing on copper? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went for copper. My stepdad was a doctor. We moved outside of Phoenix to a town called Casa Grande, and it was copper mining town. So everyone made 10 grand, worked at the copper mine, and that was fine. And my dad made 36 grand because he worked at the hospital, and everyone hated me because I was the rich kid. So I was beaten up all the time. Arizona is the 48th state. I don't know if you knew this. It's beautiful but empty. You say this. It's got that Billy the Kid Tombstone gunfighter personality that Arizona has in their genes. That's right.
I believe there's also a shout out to you in that state.
There is. Heather saw it. I wasn't to that part yet, but I like that you mentioned copper mines when I thought that I lived next to a copper mine. And then you mentioned, I go, oh, my story checks out.
Yes.
Pennies were made. You said when I was a kid, pennies still meant everything. Now even if adult dropped a penny, they'd pick it up. Now a 5-year-old drops a quarter, he goes, fuck it. See, you pepper him in there. David Spade has the Arizona personality, kind of laid back, sun-drenched, and can't really tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
Yeah, you have that personality.
That is true. If I give anyone a compliment, they don't believe it. They go, okay.
Yeah.
So horrible. It's a curse.
I know.
But watch this. I know so many Indian tribes because I'm from Arizona.
Right. Who? The Apaches?
Apache, Cherokee, Blackfoot, Yavapai, Supai, Hopi, Mojave, Kiva, Pueblo. That's fucking good.
There's another big one though. What's the other big one beside Apache that's down there?
Crowfoot?
Man, ooh.
No, Cherokee, Supai. I don't know. That's pretty good though.
You said Navajo though.
Navajo's a big one. Navajo's a little hacky because all the jewelry's Navajo jewelry.
Oh yeah.
But I'm getting in the second deep layers.
But it is funny because I would never understand if I didn't know you what that Southwest humor is. You know what I mean? Because you don't humor. But it's like a certain style that you're like such, to me, you're such a Southwest personality, but so funny. But it's interesting how different personalities have different, like to be from there and speak in that laconic, look it up, laconic way and still be funny would seem impossible to be. But you know what I mean? But it just goes,
it's true because I never think of that, but I know even when I came to New York to do SNL, I'd only been there once. So I didn't know anything East Coast. I didn't know when Sandler was doing bits about New Hampshire accent. I heard the East Coast had an accent like, you know, like a fucking Goodfellas or something, but I didn't know there were specific ones. I didn't know the whole East Coast had more population than the West. It's so dense out there and more people are from there. I meet in my life than anywhere. It's Philadelphia, New York and all. So Boston. So that accent that Stern has, that some of my friends have, that's just East Coast and you can pick up these words. I didn't know that. And it was sort of a disadvantage to come out there. It was an advantage in a way because when I did my first HBO special, I didn't know who to copy from. I was sort of mostly just doing my own thing. And then you see like New York comics that are similar. And you go, oh, because that's all they see. That's all they see every night at the clubs and everything. And I luckily wasn't spoiled by that. There wasn't much of it. I told you once, I go, when I grew up in Arizona, there wasn't much of a comedy scene. You go, there still isn't any. So true. So true.
Yeah.
There is no comedy scene out
booming Arizona scene. He goes, there wasn't much of a comedy scene back then.
Oh, there's one now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, wait a second. Here's a question. The United States in a 50 stateswide couples counseling session thinking about filing for divorce. Is that what we want? Do you think after the election, if Trump wins, that some states will say they want to break away from the union?
Oh, absolutely. Even if Trump does it, if Biden wins, some states are going to say that too.
Oh, wow.
I feel like this is really that time. You know what I mean? Like, sadly, but this is that time where, you know, unless somebody who's beyond all our ideas of brilliance has ideas, is not going to keep working. Nobody's coming up with any ideas. People are just saying what we're saying.
And it's more angry than anything's getting fixed. It's more like I'm lighting fires in my own yard. I don't even know why. I just think that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm ripping up my own house, which is stupid. It's my riot mentality. Let's go through a few of the states, if you can, and just give me off the top of your head. You want to do that? That's kind of fun.
Sure. Even though I obviously didn't know what the hell I was saying.
Because I fucking crack up, and I know you don't remember everything you wrote. I've done 2 books. Oh my God, a couple people read them. Thank you. One was actually a book, and then one I did straight to audio because I didn't want to write the whole book, which is The Opposite of You.
Straight to audio?
Mm-hmm.
I never even heard such a thing.
I called Audible and said, can I just do one straight to audio? And I thought I could cheat it by just going in there and be like, and then they go, okay, we'll just come in and you'll read it off. And so what happens is I had to write the whole thing anyway.
Oh,
Try to beat
brilliant
this.
idea, though.
It's a good idea, right?
Yeah.
It actually did better because my jokes weren't as stale because a book takes like a year and a half to come out. This came out in like 8 months or something. So it was a good.
I understand the process. So you're saying it audio, but you had to write it down to do the audio.
Yeah, that's the problem. But at least when you do an audio, it just comes right out. They don't have to wait and make a big press plan for the book and say it'll come out 9 months from now.
Whoa, you're trying to tell us this is a pain in the ass?
No, books are great. You're the one, you're a professional book tour. You don't get to do a book tour. Don't you hate that? You have to just sit in your house and do it?
As opposed to what? Sitting in the bookstore like,
Next. I like the people that brag. I do 3,000 in a day. I go, did you make any eye contact with your friends? No.
And now you're going to take a picture with everybody, you know.
I know. I still get pictures with people even during this. They immediately forget everything.
You got to COVID test them.
They go, is there any way? And then I go, and then they just don't. And one guy goes, really? A mask? I go, well, I feel guilty. I feel guilty like, all right, I'll get it for you. So horrible. They hate me.
You, the guy I met 4 seconds ago.
Yeah. Hey, we've had 4 seconds. You seem pretty cool. I always can tell when I look at people if they got it or not. So I've got like a pretty girls, I don't think have it.
No, you should bring a Q-tip and just shove it up their nose.
Just stroke it. Okay. Illinois is New York for extra large people.
Yeah.
XL people, even funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us some Chicago stuff. Anything about?
No, because I have to do the Chicago stuff after this. The one state out of the 50 that I can't be blowing my load on.
Okay. Let's talk about Florida. What do we call that?
I liked it. He goes, okay.
I play by the rules.
But that's the Southwest. Where you're like, okay.
I don't want to fight you on it. I go by the rules, guy. I don't want to mess up the whole thing. Man. Farley.
Yeah, the hot mess. You know, a hot mess.
Florida has so much going for it. They could probably want to be their own state, their own country. Yeah,
they could be their own country because it's such a, it's such a vast. I mean, for the East Coast, that's like our Arizona retirement community. You know what I mean? I mean, that's where everybody goes, even though it's humid. But for some reason, Florida started, it was like this great idea. And now it's insane. Everybody down there is crazy.
It's funny because a lot of people here have moved to Florida, and a lot of people in LA go, are you moving? You getting out of there? I'm moving. And I think people just say they're moving and they don't know why they're moving. They just go, I got to get out. And then they go somewhere and they go, guess what? The corona's in your state too. And they're like,
Yeah. But I like Florida is the only place that I hear New York accents anymore. Like New York City, no one speaks like this. Everybody in South Florida is from Brooklyn or Queens. and the Bronx, and they all speak like New York.
Oh, South Florida.
Yeah.
Where is Florida? What is it included in the South? Yeah.
Well, they're not really the South. They're their own, like you said, they're their own country.
They want to saw it off. And do they ever talk about being upper and lower Florida, like North and South Florida? There's, like California says they want to break into.
Right. But every state's like that.
I think they drop that.
Look at Flagstaff and Tombstone. But New York State and New York City is totally different personalities.
Oh, what? New York State is the quiet. What is that one?
Yeah, the quiet upstairs neighbor, whatever it is. Yeah.
And oh yeah, New York City's the loudmouth. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm looking at Florida. Florida is so funny. Is Florida where the Tiger King's from? Carol fucking Baskin.
Yes.
That's our new hero.
The Tiger King. I know. He is a good compilation of Florida. Yeah.
He is a good, just sum it all up in one show.
Yeah. I think he's from Texas originally.
Oh, he is?
I think so.
Oklahoma, that's right. They mentioned that. I really got into Tiger King because everyone said I look like him, which was, I guess, good news. But really wasn't great news. I go, somebody famous? And then I saw him. I go like Norm. Huh? By the way, Norm called me that day. David, I'm lonely. I go, yeah, you want to hang out? He doesn't answer. And then 2 days later, hello? And then I text back, hey, Norm, you want to go to dinner sometime? Do you know places where there's no coronavirus? I go, I mean, I don't know if it's for sure, but, well, why would we go out and eat? I go, I'm just trying to get you out of your goddamn fucking house. Hello?
Oh.
He goes, David, I tell you when he goes, David, do you like money? Did I tell you that? And then I go, yes, Norm. And then about 2 hours later, would you like more money than you've ever had in your life? And I go, of course I would. And then he doesn't answer. And then 3 days later, David, would you like what would equal a treasure chest full of money? All these riches that just delivered to your doorstep? I said, and would you like to know how? And I go, of course. Please tell me. And he goes, then like 3 days later, he says, in the Penguins game, bet the over on the first quarter. On the first period. And I go, is that it? And he goes, yeah, that's a no miss. And he goes, bet everything. But he kept me going for so long. And I was like, I do like.
And how much could you bet? If you bet like $100,000 on the over in the first quarter of the Penguins game, the first was not quarter, it's the period.
Yeah.
But the first period, I mean, wouldn't every bookie go, what? Nobody ever bet the first period of a Penguins.
I know, that's why he's psycho, because who's getting that deep? I go, Norm, you're not gambling again, are you? And he's like, no.
I don't even think you could bet the over on a period of a hockey game because it's such a low scoring thing.
It's so stupid. I know. I don't know. David.
Would you like money? Yes, Norm.
Yeah.
I told you when I was Norm and
you're confirming you like money.
When I was with Norm in Vegas, I told you he was on a rampage. And then just so funny the whole weekend. And then in the elevator, Norm in the elevator is the most dangerous place to be if you're not Norm. Right? A crowded elevator.
Yeah.
He goes something along the lines of like, that girl was a hooker. And he points at me and goes, ask this guy.
I love it. Yeah.
The whole elevator turns around and looks at you.
Yeah, and you go.
You're going like this. No.
No, that's Norm. Don't listen to him. Yep. He's funny as shit. Yeah, I don't think he's left his house.
I told you I was once in a, oh yeah. No, he never left it. He didn't leave his house before the coronavirus.
Yeah, I know. I go, how do you know there's a corona? You just reading about this, or are you sure? You think it's a trick? Oh, I saw. How about this, Colin? I go to do a gig with my buddy Bobby. My only gig this whole time. So we go to Utah. They're making it all safe. So Heather tells him, when you pick them up, can you just, the drivers are all safe. They go, oh yeah, the masks. They want business. Of course, they're doing everything right. And Bobby, my buddy, had a stroke. So he's a little shaky. So by the way, he tells his doctor, do you think is a stroke considered a one of the things that you've already had,
Sure.
pre-existing condition. And his doctor goes, "What do you think, genius?" And he goes, "It is?" He goes, "Yes, it is. Your body's weak." And he goes, "Okay." So Bobby has his mask on, and the driver is standing outside in Utah with his mask on his ear like this.
Oh.
And I go, "Hey, man." And we get close, and he goes, "Are we doing masks?" And my buddy goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right." And he puts it on, he gets in, and it says, "I'm not a sheep" on his mask. And I go,
Oh.
so then I'm in the back, and just to prod him, I go, "Hey, I'm not a sheep either, right?" Just anything to get him going. And he goes, "Oh, you're into this scam-demic?" And I'm like, "I'm a customer. We told you to wear a mask, and you don't know how I think, and you're already like making me feel like an asshole." And I go, it's just
But
so
first
funny.
of all, why would you have "I'm not a sheep"? It should be on the other side of the mask. So when you have it down, people are like, "I don't wear my mask. I'm not a sheep."
No,
How they get wearing it,
yeah, he didn't get that far. He didn't. He just wanted to. And
Yeah.
then between shows, I ran back to the hotel and Bobby didn't. So I was, of course, had a few knocks. I'm in the back seat, and then I go, "Scam-demic." And then he goes, "Oh yeah, dude." And then he just went on and on. I just wanted to just prod him a little bit, and then he went off. That's funny.
Yes.
Also, I love at SNL. Franken hated me. Did you know that part?
What?
Franken didn't like me. That's why I didn't vote for him. In case he was running for something. Okay, so Michigan we covered. Arizona we did. You say you've covered 47 states, but not the Dakotas or Wyoming, right?
That I've lived in, yeah. I mean, that I've visited, right?
Yeah. I've been to South Dakota, so I'll take this one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. My stepdad married my mom, and he was from Pierre, South Dakota.
You really are Joe Dirt.
So yeah, so we drove. And I'm sure he didn't like, she had 3 kids. He's like, So we drove to South Dakota, and then Rapid City, South Dakota had the hugest flood they've had in their history. This is in the 70s. And so it was totally trash. Cars are in trees. I'm like, this place kind of sucks, but kept it down in the back. I was playing Stratego. I was very good at it. And then we get there, and they put us in a Motel 6, and they were in the other motel. And I'm like, by the way, we're like literally 8, 10, and 12. We're in our own motel. And my brother was playing Night Gallery, and it scared me so much. I ran to the other hotel and told my mom. She's like, "Beat it," because they were like,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the South Dakota story. But we did see, isn't Mount Rushmore there?
Mount Rushmore, yeah, sure.
Thank God I got that one right. Okay, so that's my chapter for that.
I have a whole business plan for South Dakota where they should make a Mount Rushmore of all the presidents. And then each new one, then people come and visit.
Oh, that's good.
Why stop at 4? Just keep
them
going.
coming back. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because that way, it puts a lot of people to work.
Yes. And it's a good tourist attraction.
Yeah. And then every year you go, I've been there, but they got the new guy.
That's right.
So let's go back.
Yeah.
See what they did with him.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. Okay, I'm not going to ask you that question. I've got my whole list of things that are off limits. Don't worry.
Fine.
It's like, what else? This is fun. Oh yeah, you say, what is the funny thing you say about Alaska and Hawaii, the 2 adopted children?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Why is it so fucking funny? Let me see. Oh, Hawaii's the jinx.
Yeah.
Why is Hawaii the jinx?
Well, because because of Pearl Harbor, but also because once we let those 2 in, that's when our country started to fall, 1959. Before that, everybody loved America. And then it just started, but we had to get greedy. That was our fault.
Yeah.
Hawaii and Alaska have no business being part of our country. They're not even close to us. But we reached off the bag and took these 2, and that led to our downfall.
Because Arizona squeaked in at 48.
Arizona should be the last state.
Yeah. I wonder if Lego Joe Dirt agrees with you.
Ooh.
What's crapping? Full mullet. So Hawaii has a lot of pot, as we
Yeah.
know, but if they make it legal, that's going to be the best pot state.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that'll be that. It's only meant to be a resort. It's not meant to be a state. You have to go with what you are. You know what I mean? They're meant to be a resort, and that's it.
Hawaii should just be a huge hotel.
What's that?
It should just be a huge hotel, Hawaii.
Yes.
Because we did the wrong Missy there. I'm glad you brought that up. The wrong Missy was, it was the best of times, and it was.
Sure. Yeah.
We did it in Hawaii, and it was great. I still complain, of course, but.
How long were you there?
7 weeks. It was actually, this is a boring story. It was actually cold at night, and I didn't bring anything but shorts. So I thought it's Hawaii. And it got kind of cold at night, and then it rained, and then I was laying in a puddle. I don't want to give the whole movie away, but I was laying in a puddle and with a broken leg, the fake broken leg on, and it was raining on my face. And the first night of shooting, it was midnight, and I'm like, well, this fucking sucks. I thought it was going to be like,
right.
Drinking.
Well, you know what you should have done? They said, too bad they don't have any stores there where you can buy pants.
Colin, when you're doing a movie, I was locked in character. I don't come out of character the whole time. I'm like Spicoli.
But your character wasn't just wearing shorts.
Did you even
Your
see
character was just the opposite of a wearing shorts guy. It was an uptight, out of sight guy, if I remember correctly.
I can't believe you saw it. Did you see it or not?
Of course, it was very funny.
Thank you, buddy. That's what I was getting at. Thank you. All right. I just tried to extract that from you like a rotting tooth.
It was funny. I don't know if you were hilarious or hilarious playing catch up with that girl who was rocking the whole movie. You're like,
she was crushing, and I was fucking thinking,
boom, boom. You're like, get back.
Oh yeah. By the way, about halfway through the movie, I'm like, do I have any jokes? No, but I knew it. I go, if we get the right girl reading the script, I go, I do want to play that straight man like Jason Bateman. It's funny. And I don't mind that. And we got the right girl. She fucking was
Oh
funny.
my God, she was hilarious. Yeah.
So funny. Alaska's the bad kids.
You think people are going to judge us for calling somebody the right girl?
I thought we took that part out already. She was great. She's a good actress.
You mean actor?
I know. I'm trying to get myself in trouble now. Arkansas, is that a state? I think I should know more.
Arkansas is.
In North Carolina. North Carolina is America's ashtray. I'm just reading jokes now. I was trying to put that Hawaii joke about pot. I'd read your own joke and do it back to you like I thought of it. And I watch you quietly stew, but go.
No, who's stewing? I can't remember it.
You put these jokes and then I just say them back to you like I thought of them. I go, hey.
That's fine with me.
Yeah. Louisiana is the Brazil of America. Those are so funny. I hate to say my mom's going to love this and read it. She will read it in 2 seconds. She loves you. Anyone that's kind of smart loves you.
Yeah.
Leave the dumb ones from me. And so you wrote it because you just thought you're always searching, which is nice that you don't just quit. I've been doing the same act for 15 years, but you go out and you want new material and you want to impress Seinfeld.
No, I just like to, I do feel like comedy, as you know, jokingly, because you always have new material, it is a search. Let's face it. You know what I mean?
It's one of the few things that keeps you going. For me, the few things that keep me excited in life after all these years, the list is definitely smaller. But one of them is coming up with an idea or something you think is funny or an angle on something. You go, oh, that's pretty good. And I write it down and I go, okay. So that kind of keeps me going, which is part of the not fun of the pandemic is not going out and trying stuff.
Right.
Get smashed down. And then I see these drive-in shows and people doing it in their living room with no crowd on Zoom. And I'm like, it's like a doctor operating on a pillow. You know what I mean? On this couch. She's like, he wants to do it, but it's not the same. You know what I mean?
No, it's not, because it's such a weird, comedy is such an audience. Like they're so collaborative with us.
Yeah.
That whether we like it or not, they're such a part of your process that there's no way to do it without them.
I know. Believe me, I wish I could do it without a crowd. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I love the crowd. That's fun. It is hard to go out there and do stand-up and travel and all that stuff, but it is fun when you're in the zone and you're doing stuff and it's working. And keeps everybody going.
Now we're gonna be in the zone, the hot zone, when we're doing comedy.
Oh yeah, I know. All the corona bugs and bubbles floating around. I try to bite them like a dog. They're like, no, those are bad for you. But I'm like a dog. I don't know. They look fun. Oh wait. Okay. So I think we're supposed to wrap up, but I want to say you're always hilarious. You write the funniest stuff. I never want to read it, but then when I do, I like it because I don't read. Someone goes, "What are some of your favorite books?" I go, "Some." You mean, can I remember one book I've ever read in my life? Is that the question? Because that's a question. The answer is I cannot. So this will be now the one I say because I gave it a good skim job and then I went in deep on a few, and I just to get to the jealous point of I'm mad that you're still really funny, and then I just throw it away. So I will. Here's how I'm wrapping this up. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like they do in Hawaii, aloha. You think it means hello, but it also means goodbye.
Oh,
Isn't that good?
yeah.
Anyway, love you, Colin.
Love you, David.
Great book. And I don't know if it's airing on Twitter, whether this is airing, but I'm very excited. And I will see you soon once this is all over.
Yes, thanks.
All right, buddy. Miss you. You're gonna take some questions.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm jumping off.
Bye, buddy.
All right, Heather, pull the car.
Bye, Heather.